It got dire. I bought a second house that was 4 acres so I could build ramps and stuff. At that point, I couldn't afford to keep the ramps up anymore. They were all masonite wood. They're just getting destroyed.
Yeah.
So they're just all falling apart in my backyard.
Which is a visual, visual display of your life and where you're going.
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
You're watching shit
I'm watching
apart.
it crumble. Yeah.
For me, it was
before my
Mexican
eyes.
guys destroying this house, and I was like, we're gonna have that front room, and that's it. We're not gonna be able to build out here.
So I knew how to edit videos because I had some experience with that. Stacey Peralta, sort of helped me do some things. And so I told my parents that I want to buy an editing bay and I could start doing freelance work for action sports industries, whatever. Cause I just knew I had that skill set because skateboarding was not going to take me there anymore as far as I was concerned. So I went to LA, bought a so lame. On consignment, I bought a 3/4 deck editing system for $8,000.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
Please. That and my parents reluctantly gave it to me, and only because they said, we never had to pay for your college. So we'll give you this.
Oh my God. But what I love about this story is that in this story, on this page of this movie, there is no future Tony Hawk.
Oh.
There is just a guy with
nothing.
now an editing dream.
Yeah. And then I started learning how to use the equipment was already outdated. I mean, it was on consignment, which means someone just gave it up and they were like, that's all I could afford. So I got that. I figured out how to run the video through this home editing system, Video Toaster at the time, which was the first home nonlinear editing system, but I didn't have the hard drive space to do the nonlinear stuff. So I had to run it through tape. So, A/B switching, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure it out. I have a couple of jobs that I might be getting, and the whole thing just freezes up, and the tape breaks, and I have no idea what to do. I can't fix it. And then that was the moment where I just put my head on the desk and started crying because I didn't know what to do. I was like, I banked everything on this. I borrowed money from my parents, and this isn't going to work. And it sucked. So I'm living in Fallbrook.
I love those.
You'll like this one though. I'm living in Fallbrook, which is East San Diego. Yeah. I called the company and I was like, "Oh, this one machine locked up. The tape got stuck in it. I got the tape out, but it still won't move." And they're like, "Oh, just bring it up here. We'll show you how to reset it." And I go, "Can't you just tell me?" Like, "No, I can't. It's too complicated." So the next day, I drove this fucking machine from Fallbrook to Burbank, and the guy took the lid off and hit a reset button.
Oh, you prick!
Oh, what a fucking cunt! Oh, I want to fucking kill this face.
And then I went home, started editing videos, paid the rent for a couple months.
So when did you go from
let's hear the rest of this story.
Because at one point you started Birdhouse and started doing.
So the jobs were so sparse, I wasn't really getting that many. I got one random.
What were you editing?
Well, I was putting together skate videos. Like other companies were going to put together a skate video, and they didn't have much of a budget, but I needed the money, and I knew how to piece the tapes together.
You knew what a good trick looked like.
Well, I knew how to put that, like, they'd come with me. I got this one on high 8, I got this one on VHS, and I was like, all right, put it through here, and here's the output.
Yeah.
So I knew how to do that at least. And then I got a job editing a video for a new video game from NEC because my friend, Jeremy Klein, who ended up skating for Birdhouse, was working at NEC, and he's like, "Hey, my friend's got a video thing. We can do it." And so he brought this dude, the head of NEC USA, to my garage in Fallbrook to edit this video. And then I just kind of limped along, but it wasn't really working. And then at some point I couldn't afford my mortgage anymore. So I took out I basically had already taken out the equity from my house because I wanted to start the skate company because I gave up on the video thing. And connected
so you take the equity out in your house, which by the way is I'm keeping my balls out of my pants move because I
took a second mortgage on my house.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah. On the house that was worth something because the other house wasn't increasing in value.
Yeah.
So everything that I had banked on, I took it out to start a skate company with my friend Per because he also was considering leaving Palo Peralta. So he and I pooled our funds together and we started what became Birdhouse.
What year is this?
1992.
Okay.
And then I just sold my house for the debt. Like that was it. I just basically just free and clear. Sold the house, but had got that equity to start Birdhouse, and then moved back into the old house. It was a duplex, and basically lived on Top Ramen and Taco Bell for like 3 years.
And did demos where people didn't appreciate him because he was a vert guy, and there was the new street.
But also, but I was thankful to get those demos because there wasn't much going on. There were a few groups that were doing rollerblade shows, right? Yeah. So they would put up a vert ramp, say,
is this 1995?
Yeah, 94, 95.
I went to, in 1995, I was in Italy, and I went, and there was a vert ramp demo with the guy with rollerblades.
Yeah.
And we befriended him. I think it was right on the coast. We befriended him, and he took us over, and it was pretty fucking badass. And we were like, we got to get rollerblades.
No.
But so that's the thing, is that saved me, because I would be the special guest of the rollerblade shows, the inline shows.
Yeah.
And then I got asked to do a few of those. So we did a few runs at different Six Flags across the country, where we were skating in the parking lot, 3 shows a day for $100 a day. And then sharing hotel rooms. But that's what, like the hustle, I have to go.
Is that where you two met, doing those demos?
Who?
No, we met before that.
You met before that.
Yeah.
Were you doing those as well?
No, I was in Australia working. Like he got,
I was scraping by based on my previous reputation.
Right.
So they would be.
So it wasn't like anyone that was a middle ranked vert skater was going to get those opportunities.
Right.
So you were getting the opportunities, recognition of that name.
Yeah.
How fucking lucky are you to have the name Tony Hawk?
You know, I went back to Australia, and my skate shop said that they could give me a 15% grip discount on grip tape.
That was it.
And I just recently placed 5th in the world. And I was like,
yeah, I mean, that's the state of things.
And then they started sponsoring rollerblading. That's why your rollerblade story triggers me.
Oh,
because just real quick, rollerblade, how you doing? How's that going? Yeah.
So I put my name out there to do whatever. So I got a couple consulting jobs at doing Hollywood stuff, because they said, you want someone to coordinate skating for the shoot. They thought I was too old because I was 24, 25, whatever. So I wasn't getting the jobs as the skater in the commercial or whatever it was, but they knew I could figure out who would be best for it. And so I got a consulting fee, usually $500, to go find a skater for this commercial and even build ramps for the commercial. Like just whatever it took to keep it going.
So then how many kids at this time? Two?
No, just one at the time.
So wait, so then tell me the turn moment.
Yeah.
I would say the turn happened after the first X Games, probably going into the second X Games, when
first
suddenly,
X Games was
1995. X Games was starting to come on the scene, and there was this renewed interest in skateboarding. I mean, definitely in what they called extreme sports, but mostly I'd say it was focused in on skateboarding, BMX, inline skating, and motocross.
All right.
Yeah.
That was the Mount Rushmore.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started getting more opportunities and getting actual paychecks.
And you were 20, don't let me guess. You were 28 at the time?
Yeah, almost.
And so when you, at what point do you start going like how do you turn into who you are today? That's like, because I don't think I ever knew that you weren't this the whole time.
He was this the whole time.
In those days, I think that I had.
Then so was I. Shut the fuck up.
The whole time we've been us the whole time.
That's it.
Trip out on that, Bert. You know, I didn't know that he was ever in a fine. Like, I know from being his friend for a long time that there was a time where he didn't make that much money.
Yeah.
But to me, in that era, he was still in the magazine. He was still like, there was video parts where you were still
skating all the
making
time.
tricks that no one could do. So in my little world, I was like, he's on top of the world, because it didn't matter about the money. Like I was on top of the world in Australia because I was a courier, but when I went to the ramp, I fucking owned it. That was my ramp. I was better than everybody.
But there was no audience for our skills.
So then at what point So you're doing X Games. You make, I don't know.
I think what happened was I got such in the mode of hustling and hustling and hustling, especially through the early 90s, scraping by.
Okay, so
that when suddenly there was opportunity and there was serious money that was being offered, I was still in that. It wasn't like I was going to grab one and be like, oh, I'm finally set. I just kept going, and then suddenly it was coming in waves, and before I knew it, I was fine.